All right, well, as always, thanks for joining. Well, today they say revenge is a dish best served up cold. So today we're cooking up a little bit of revenge on action cameras. So stick around. So we're just gonna get into it. Let's shoot this thing. We're gonna try to put an arrow right down here and see if it'll record it. I highly doubt it will, but we're gonna try it anyway. So let's get to it. And if you wanna see some more information about GoPros and see my experience as to why GoPros suck, stick around after the shot and you can see all of that info, as well as some famous YouTubers that tell you to not buy a GoPro. So stick around.
Not that one. Hey, it's blue. Wait, was this a gender reveal?
Just because I'm sure people will ask. No, this wasn't a gender reveal idea. But if it was, I'm having a boy.
It's a boy!
That's crazy. So, let's come up to the camera. I really want to see how that turned out because we went through the lens right here, exactly where I was aiming, but somehow it managed to not go into here, which is crazy. I'm definitely wanting to see the slow-mo on that. But I feel like that's not good enough. We need to shoot it again. We're going for a second shot at it just because there wasn't enough destruction for me. All right, so there we go. Second shot blew out the back screen, destroyed it. And I couldn't be happier because GoPros suck. So stick around. No, don't stick around. Thanks for sticking around. Yeah, we'll go with that. All right, so let's get into why I can't stand GoPros. When I first started filming, I ended up buying a GoPro Hero 3, and that GoPro Hero 3 worked, did decent, but finally got to the point I was ready to upgrade. I wanted to have a second angle camera for when I was up in the tree and a bunch of other things and when I was filming, so I settled on the GoPro Hero 7 Black. I bought this thing brand new on Amazon about 2 years ago. And within the first 3 months, I already had issues of where it had failed me. And I always thought it was maybe something I did, but then came to realize it's just this GoPro. And every GoPro that seems to be out there, they just have finicky issues where they fail. Where they will stop recording, never record. When you push the button, it doesn't start recording. And I've had all of those failure modes. I've had it mess up while I was shooting another action camera. It stopped recording and never recorded the shot. We smashed that GoPro at 20 yards. No surprise. Guess who failed me? Frickin' GoPro. I was in a hunting situation. I had a buck come in. I turned the camera on, grabbed my bow, and by the time I turned around, that buck was right up on me and it just stopped recording. And it was a brand new fully charged battery that morning, and it was the first time I'd turned it on. So it wasn't a battery issue, it wasn't an SD card full issue. My final straw with this particular GoPro was I was filming my niece's wedding. I put this up on the cross that was behind them. It recorded for about 15 minutes and then just stopped recording. And it wasn't because the SD card was full. It wasn't because the battery died. It just decided it had had enough, because that's what GoPros do. So I turned the GoPro back on, got ready to film, and noticed that it said SD card error. And if I wanted to redo that SD card, reformat it, I was going to lose everything, which I obviously didn't want to do. I didn't know at that point that it had failed me. So I put in a new SD card and got ready to record, and the error message says, no battery, no SD card. Well, I'm not exactly sure, being that I had no power source plugged into it, how it even had the screen on to tell me it had no battery. But it failed me the entire rest of that day, and I wasn't able to use it for filming of the reception, which really sucked. We're going to try to put an arrow right down the lens and see if I can capture it. I highly doubt it, because it'll probably fail me again. Goodbye, GoPro. Last time I will ever hit record on you again. There are so many other YouTube channels that are saying the exact same thing, all the way from small channels like mine to large channels like The Hunting Public. Yeah, that's right. Aaron over at THP even tells you, don't buy a GoPro. Don't buy GoPros. Don't buy GoPros. They suck. They're not reliable at all. They have good video though. But they literally freak out and won't turn on, so you have to reset them like every hour during the day. So instead of deer hunting, we have to do things like this. Take it out of its case, take the battery out, put it back in the cage, reset it, make sure it's working right. And you look down and there's a big buck standing there and he blows because he sees you up here screwing with a crappy camera. So yeah, there's that. The reason is it constantly fails. Gives great footage in 4K and all sorts of other great things, but they constantly fail to where you have to reset it by taking the battery out, putting it back in, and restarting the whole thing. And I just don't want that in my life. GoPros suck. But don't take my word for it. There are so many other YouTube channels that are saying the exact same thing.
My GoPro shut off for some reason. And then when I just reviewed the footage, I seen that it cut off on me when I was showing how to pull the nasal cavity out, and then that was the most important step. I'm very sorry that I lost that footage. I don't know what happened. This is my brand new GoPro too, and I don't even have a clue what happened to it.
Welcome back to Redneck Tech, and on this episode of In My Opinion, we're talking about why I really think GoPros suck.
Well, that was like the biggest buck I've ever seen while hunting. Jeez, man, I'm shaking so bad. Well, I just went to look at my scope cam footage. The stupid GoPro turned off right before I took the shot. But yeah, I can see my arrow down there. I did miss the deer.
All right, I don't know what's going on. GoPro just overheated after like a minute and a half of being on.
Uh-oh, Hero 11. So Hero 11 just went off first.
The first video I tried to take on the GoPro 11 Black, I got the screen of death.
These things are just bad. They constantly freeze, constantly lose footage.
So what am I doing about it? Well, I have two new action cameras that I'll be using. One I've been using for a while, and it is the Insta 360 X2, and I love this thing. It gives all sorts of great perspectives, and you can focus in on anything. You can crop out and just use it as a normal action cam. You can use the full 360, and you can use this for multiple shots during your video editing. And then I also am going to be using this Akaso Brave 7 LE. And this records in 4K as well as 1080 at 120 frames a second. So we'll be using that today for some of the slow-mo. And I think these are some great options that you can get instead of a GoPro, and I think provide as good a quality, if not better than a GoPro, but more importantly, reliability. And that's what's important to me. So hopefully you guys enjoy these destruction style videos. If you do, please consider giving the channel a subscribe down below. Give it a thumbs up. That's going to help the channel out. As well as stick around, because what we're going to be doing is taking the ever popular iPhone versus Samsung. That's right, iPhone versus Android. We're going to be shooting these two working phones and seeing which one holds up better. So stick around to the channel if you want to see how that stuff works out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any other comments, leave them down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of GoPro. Let me know what you think of these action cameras. Put them down in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.